Hello, my name is Dr. Judy Murray, and this evening I will be talking about federal laws that actually protect teachers. We have several laws that protect teachers, but we do not have laws that will protect teachers' mental health. So I'm going to review a few of the laws that have been written over the years, but how we have to begin to create new laws for the next generation of teachers. So, the first key federal law to protect teachers was written way back in 1964. Wow. I was born in 1962. So, wow, it's been a long time. And this was the Civil Rights Act, and it included teachers. It was basically saying that teachers must not be discriminated by their race, color, religion, sex, or national origin. That if you're going to hire a teacher, you could not discriminate against their background. Okay. And then the second one was the Title IV of the Education Amendment for 19. I'm sorry, in the year 1972. And so this law focused on preventing sex based discrimination laws in the educational systems. And so, you can't discriminate on gender. You can't harass a woman, you can't harass a person based on their gender. And this was written way back in 1972. Then there's another federal law. It was called the Family and Medical Leave Act. And this is pretty much across all professions, but it did apply to teachers in the sense that when teachers needed to take off from work to have a child or to care for a family member, that they can do that without fear of losing their jobs. And I'm not sure if that's even in still going to protect teachers, because there's a lot of teachers who cannot afford to do that today. And we need something to update this law to protect teachers if uh, if they're off for their family, to make sure they have the money to support themselves when they're off. Then, of course, there's the American Act with Disabilities, and that law actually, you cannot discriminate and not hire a person into the teaching profession based on their disability. They if they can teach and they want to teach in the public school, you can't say, well, because you're disabled, you can't teach. And so that law protected teachers who wanted to go and teach, and somehow, some way, they were disabled in some way. And so this education, the laws that protected teachers were primarily talked about, what they can and cannot do. Then there's an interesting one. It's called the Whistleblowers Protection Laws. And this law really protected teachers from being fired or facing ramifications for going against their school district, talking about the unsafe conditions and getting caught up in fraud and illegal activities within their school district. And they basically could not go against their school district. And or if they did, they can't lose their job. So it's I'm not sure how even that is affecting teachers now, because teachers really need the money. And so, I mean, how much is that really protecting them with the whistleblowers law? Do they feel like they're protected, if they did speak up? Because, most teachers, they have to work. They need the little money that they make. And then this last one, it talked about the collective bargaining rights. And basically, that law said that teachers have a right to join unions, to engage in collective bargaining, which is happening now. Teachers are on strike, which allows them to negotiate contracts that protect their rights for working conditions, whether it's unsafe, and even down to the point where they're not getting paid enough. So here you see, these are just a few federal laws that have been written and enacted by the federal government to protect teachers. But I think about these laws and I said, wow, protection, protection. I don't feel like they, you know, thought about, or should I say, I would say, Phil, have they thought about protecting the minds, the mental health of teachers in America? So let's think about this for a moment. A teacher is standing in front of 25 or 30 students for more than 8 hours a day. And depending on the school district that she's teaching or he or she's teaching, that stress level could impact their minds for long periods of time. When we're now in the month of March, where the schools are coming to the end and teachers are tired, they're stressed. And do we even take into consideration that teachers, their minds, their mental health is at stake? If a teacher spoke about their mind or their mental distress, or that they need therapy to make sure they're mentally alert, they could lose their job. So, where are the laws to protect teachers' mental health conditions? I mean, how are they able to stand under so much pressure for so long, for so many years, and not get the health, mental health support that they need? Mental health is a buzzword and all in our whole society, but when it comes to teachers, it could be looked upon as not so positive. Like if a teacher says, well, my mental health is at stake, then they could actually lose their job. But I believe that there should be laws to protect teachers, to make sure they don't lose their job if they were to go out and to receive mental health, to stay in the profession of teaching. And it should be confidential. School districts should have budgets. That should be a law to mandate, to make sure teachers every 3 months make sure that they're getting the support mentally. And that could include exercise, proper food, um, free therapy support, whatever it takes to keep their minds strong and mentally alert. Now, I do have a website that you all can go to as you continue to listen to my episodes. We're going to be interviewing several teachers throughout the month of March. And my website is called Dr. Murray's Pathways to Mental Health Healing.com. I'll say it again, Dr. Murray's Pathway to Mental Health Healing.com. I know that's a long word, but you can always call too. My number is 805 290 6641, and then ask for the website. In any case, I'll get back to what I was talking about in regards to interviewing teachers. So, what we're going to be doing now into the end of the school year, every month from March, May, and June, we will have live interviews from teachers from all walks of life and all demographics and different subject matters, and also different grades that they teach. It could be private school, it could be public school, it could be homeschool. Because once you're a teacher, you're a teacher, and it will be interesting to see. And of course, we will not disclose who the teachers are, any information about where they teach and things like that. We will just say they are uh, a teacher, a next generation teacher. We can say their age. We'll talk about the subject matter and how long they've been teaching, and if their mental health has been a risk as they continue to teach in the schools in America. So I look forward to interviewing several teachers. If anyone listening to this podcast, if you want to be a teacher and you want to be on my podcast and you want to tell your story and you want to talk about your mental health and how it's been compromised over the years, over the months in certain school districts. I mean, you don't have to name the school district. You can say, what city it's located. You don't have to name the particular school that you teach in. But we need to know, we need to hear from real live teachers. It's one thing for me to sit on here and talk about what's wrong and how much I want to be a voice for the teachers, but I want to hear teachers' voices. I will be I'll open up the lead. I will be the person that will take the lead on helping teachers' voices be heard. But of course, we want to hear the teachers, we want to hear their personal struggles in regards to their mental health in the field of education. This will be many series and episodes of different types of teachers who want to tell their story, who want to be heard. And so I look forward to taking time to hear the stories of the mental health issues in regards to teachers in America. And it's a part of the series of, what will it take? What will it take for us to wake up? Wake up, America, and hear the cry of our teachers who are actually preparing this country to be strong. I mean, you heard the introduction about how we were at one time the country to come to get the best education in the world, not just in in just our little geographic, but in the world. People travel to America to get the best education. So other countries are gaining ground, and if we want to keep up, and even with AI, I get AI I hate to say this, AI may replace some of our teachers because due to their mental health. So I hope that doesn't come to that point because we do need the warmth and the encouragement of a human voice for the next generation of learners. But we also need protection for the minds of the next generation of teachers. Okay, so tune in our next set in our next sorry, tune in into our next episodes to hear about what we will talk about in regards to teachers. Okay, thank you.